Okay. Still loading up. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem HaShabbat Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Al Bashim HaShah to the sisters. This is Officer Yahweh Thumb, I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under command General YAHANNA. And this is a Wednesday law class. We're going to kind of be going over Gentile, strangers. We got to understand that, for one, Gentile, stranger, nor heathen is an actual nation. So anybody could be that, whether it's Israel or not. So that's kind of the basis of this class. I'm going to give it a quick second, and then we're going to get into it. Let's go. Shalom, shalom. Here we go. Are you on Facebook?
All right. Wait for it to pop up so I can go and sitting on this stuff. There we go.
Yeah, go ahead and send it out. So I don't know. Let me see right here. All right. So first thing we got to understand, Dylan, make sure you can hear it on. Heathen are essentially all the same words. They can be interchangeable. There's really no true difference. So to understand that, we're gonna get some scriptures today to show that Israelites were context. You understand? You got to have context on what you know what I mean, and that's what's gonna hurt you. So speaking of true understanding, let's see how we get it. Let me get Isaiah 28:9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 9.
Read.
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
So we're dealing with whom will the Lord teach knowledge? Read.
And drawn
in the New Testament, I think it was Christ who said you got to empty out the whole wine bottle. Meaning whatever you learned before this, before you came into the truth, before you got down with the UPK, you got to empty that out. Because there's no way you're going to understand what the Bible is truly talking about until you got everything you thought you knew about it. Start
understand doctrine.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? And that's what this is about. You got to understand true doctrine, not just what you feel, not just what you think, not just what your pastor told you or a fake Israelite told you. What does the Bible truly say? We're about to figure out, how do we know for a fact that the UPK holds and drawn from the breast, started as babes and grew up in this truth? Read.
For precept must be upon precept.
Hold on, say that again.
For precept must be upon precept.
Precept must be upon precept. You understand? I understand one thing of black folks, they hard-headed. They don't want to listen. You understand? So he put it in there again. Read.
Line upon line.
Line upon line. Read.
Line upon line.
Line upon line. Meaning, I'm going to keep matter of fact, read.
Here a little.
Here a little.
And there a little.
And there a little. Meaning I take precept upon precept, line upon line, here and there to make it go together. You understand? Those are the ones that have true understanding, that have the true doctrine of the Most High. Now, everything that we teach, we can. We don't need no outside sources. We believe in the whole Bible, Genesis to Revelation, and we can prove it. It's easy. That's easy money. So now we want to prove that the Gentiles, strangers, and heathen, those aren't just for anybody outside of Israel. That's for anybody, period. We're going to get to it. Let me get, but first we got to understand one more thing, Most High. Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 14. We got to understand this one more thing about the Most High. The Most High is not going to make this a difficult thing. You know, a lot of people get confused on the Jew, Gentile, and, you know, stranger and all that. Most High didn't make this a difficult, you know, process. As long as you go precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, and you make sure it all adds up, Meaning, when I get this over here, it can't contradict this over there. You understand? When I get this precept over here, I can't use this precept to contradict that precept. Or you don't understand what the Bible's saying. It's that simple. You got that? Read.
14 and 10. 14, verse 10. There are.
Salakli. Chapter 14, verse 33. 33. Yeah.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 33.
Read.
For God,
right,
is not the author of confusion, but of peace.
Simple. The Most High is not the author of confusion. So if you trying to tell me something, and I know there's a handful, tons of scriptures that contradict what you're saying about the Bible, then maybe you just don't understand that scripture. Because the Most High is not the author of confusion. No, give me Malachi 3 and 6. The Most High is not the author of confusion. What he says, it is. The only people that change is us. Most High doesn't change.
Right.
Most High is concrete in who and what he is. Nobody is more secure in who they are than the Most High. Nothing or nobody. You understand? Malachi 3 and 6. So we got to be careful with how we interpret these scriptures. And if you're not learning from true men of the Lord, you're going to get this all backwards.
Right.
You're going to have a lot of issues with your doctrine because it's not the one true doctrine. You understand? Got that? Go ahead, read.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord.
Right.
I change not.
That's simple. Read that again.
For I am the Lord.
Yeah.
I change not.
It's that simple. So guess what? If he says something in the Old Testament, he means it in the New Testament. All because the wordage might change doesn't mean he changed. Still the same thing. Still the same thing. Now, let's get something from the Old Testament that can't. Chapter 147 and 19.
The book of Psalms showeth his word unto Jacob.
So he showed his word unto Jacob. That's his word to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of the day. Read.
His statute.
So that means all of Israel, they know they was given the understanding of the Lord. You understand? The law, statutes, and commandments came to Israel. It's that simple. You understand? Read.
He have not dealt so with any nation.
He what?
He have not dealt so with any nation.
So any nation outside the nation of Israel, he didn't deal with them. We just learned, he said, I am the Lord, I change if not. That means if he didn't deal with them before, he wasn't dealing with them after. When it came to his word, his understanding, you understand? His knowledge. Yeah, he dealt with them as far as telling them what to do specifically, as far as how to live righteously. He didn't do that. He read.
And as for his judgments,
Yeah,
they have not known them.
they have not known them. So even if you want that to be, it can't be. Because the Most High just said it. I don't need to go to Testament scripture to say this is where he opened it. He didn't open nothing for nobody if you weren't Israel, period. I don't care if you were Jew or Gentile. We'll get into that later. It's that simple. All right, let me get Joel 2 and 27. We'll get into this. So that's what we got to understand. He not changing. Joel 2:27. You got that? All right.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
I am in the midst of Israel, meaning the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is what the Lord is saying. I am in the midst of Israel. Read.
and that I am the Lord, your God.
He is the Lord our God, meaning he is our power. He is Yahweh, our power. Read.
And none else.
And who?
And none else.
And none else. Meaning I don't care about them. I don't dwell with them. I'm in the midst of them. You understand? That so what we just read in Psalms, and that right there can never change. So we got to understand before we even. Now we're about to get into it. You understand? We're about to see what these Gentiles is about. Everybody makes to be everybody that the Lord hates, which makes no sense, but more power to you. We're going to get the understanding right here, right now, tonight.
Gentile.
Mm-hmm.
One who is not a Jew.
And when you scroll down, what does it say?
Heathen.
It does say heathen, but what else does it say? It's online etymology.com. It says one that is not a Jew, which is very true. We'll get into that in a second.
Foreigners.
Foreigners. That's the key. One that is not a Jew, foreigner. So that's what Gentile means, and it also can mean. So now, let's deal with stranger. Get stranger for me.
Stranger.
Yep.
Unknown person.
Unknown person. Read.
Foreigner.
Foreigner. Simple. You understand? Hey, shalom, Trooper I War. This is actually online etymology. So this is things in the Bible dictionary also. All right, so now let's deal with the word stranger specifically. Let me get Exodus chapter 2, verse 22. We're going to get in the Bible where Israelites were called strangers and to understand how and why they were called strangers. You know, it's not hard. Exodus 2, verse 22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 22.
Read.
And she bare him a son.
Right.
And he called his name
Gershom.
Gershom.
So this is when Moses had his child and he named him Gershom. And listen to why.
For he said, I have been a stranger.
I have been a what?
A stranger.
Moses said himself he was a what?
Stranger.
Read.
In a strange land.
So that's how you can become a stranger. You can become a stranger if you're in a strange land. Guess what, Israel? Even the ones in Israel, they don't run Israel. They're in a strange land. So that right there, we could end the class right there if you got common sense. But a lot of us don't, because America has raised us. So let's keep going. It said he named his son Gershom because he has been a stranger in a strange land. Meaning Moses understood that Israelite can be a stranger. Ain't that South and Central America, all of it, strange lands. If you're in Africa, you're in a strange land. You understand? If you're in Germany, you're in a strange land. You're in China, you're in a strange land. Stranger. All right. So now, let me get Numbers 1, starting at verse 50. Because not only did Moses understand this, but the Most High actually put it in the law that Israel could be strangers to Israel. So Moses understands that just off the logic of if I'm in a strange land, I'm a stranger, period. I ain't got to be of another nation. I'm a stranger, period. Now we're about to get how Israel seen Israel as strangers.
The book of Numbers. It's like Numbers 1 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Numbers.
Read to 51, but start at 50, yeah.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 50.
Right.
But thou shalt appoint the Levites.
Thou shalt who?
The Levites.
The Levites, read.
Over the tabernacle of testimony.
Over the tabernacle of testimony. So the tabernacle where so that's what they do. Let's keep reading.
And over
right
all the vessels thereof. And over all things that belong to it.
Right, read.
They shall bear the tabernacle.
They shall bear the tabernacle. So guess what? The burden of the tabernacle That's on the Levites. Not all of Israel, the Levites. Read.
And all the vessels thereof.
And all the vessels thereof. Anything that come through there, that's on you, Levi. Read.
And they shall minister unto it.
Right. So they should minister, meaning they should, whatever is needed, they'll do for it. That's on them. They need to clean it, they'll clean it. If they need to rebuild, they'll build. Whatever it was, they did it. They did the ministering of it. Read.
And they and shall encamp round about the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
And when the tabernacle setteth forward.
Right. So it said they shall encamp around about the tabernacle, meaning they will live around the tabernacle. So they'll do their work in the tabernacle, and their home should be right around the tabernacle. Simple. Read. When the tabernacle.
And when the tabernacle, it's like, and the Levites shall take it down.
Right.
And when the tabernacle is to be pitched.
And it's to be pitched. Read.
The Levites shall set it up.
The Levites shall set it up. Read.
And the stranger.
And the who?
The stranger.
The stranger. Read.
That cometh nigh.
Yeah.
Shall be put to death.
Shall be put to death. Now, hold that and go to Numbers 2:2.
The book of Numbers, chapter 2, verse 22. Then the tribe of Benjamin.
No, Numbers 2:2.
The book of Numbers, chapter 2, verse 2.
Read.
Every man of the children of Israel.
Right. Every man of the children of Israel, read.
Shall pitch by his own standard.
He shall pitch by his own standard, read.
With the ensign of their father's house.
With the ensign of their father's house, read.
Far off about
the rest of the children of Israel had to pitch far off of the tabernacle. Meaning y'all can't even back to Numbers 1 and read 1 and read the end of 51 and in the 52. Into 52. So the last part of 51.
And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death.
And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. Read.
And the children of Israel.
Right.
Shall pitch their tents.
Shall pitch their tent.
Every man by his own camp.
Right. Read.
And every man by his own standard.
Read.
Throughout their hosts.
Read. 53.
But the
Levites, read.
Shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony.
Keep reading.
That there be no wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel.
And why does it say that? Because if the children of Israel outside the Levites come up there trying to do their thing, the wrath is what he just said. The stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. So that won't happen, Levi, now don't even give them my opportunity to screw up. But guess who those strangers are? Every tribe other than Levi. That's what he's talking about. So Judah coming to the tabernacle trying to pitch his tent around there would be a stranger to him, and he would be put to death. Same with Simeon, Benjamin, all of them. All of them. If you weren't Levi and you did that, you were a stranger and you were put to death. That's in the Bible. So, and this is all in the law. So I'm not sure where we get this idea that Israel can never be a stranger, whether inland or out of land. This is all in our. Let me get Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Deuteronomy 17 and 15.
All right. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Read that from the top again.
Lord thy God shall choose.
Right.
One from among thy brethren.
Right.
Shall thou set king over thee.
Shalt thou set king over thee. So this goes into the law why true Israelites don't vote. That's why we don't care if it's Trump, Hillary Clinton, Obama, whoever. We don't care because that has nothing to do with us. First, it's not our land, nor is it for. Two, it's not of our brethren, like the law said we had to do if we were going to set a king over us. President, king, ruler,
over thee.
Read.
Which is not thy brother.
So see, here we go again. It says, thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Meaning, this is the same word stranger, but now it's being used in a different context. See, that's what we got to understand, Israel. All because a word, like, all right, I'll give an example. If I say, man, I went outside, it was hot today. By context of what I'm saying, you get what I'm talking about. If I say, man, I was listening to somebody's new album and that thing was hot, I'm not talking about like it was hot to the touch or anything. I mean, it was a good CD. It was a good album. If I say, man, I seen that fight the other night. Oh boy, it was hot. I'm saying it's not that he's hot as far as touch. I'm saying, yo, he was mad. He was kind of hot. Like, dang. That's one word. I just used 3 different ways of us. No matter what language we were speaking, we always had different lingos and different ways of how we spoke. Just I could do the same thing with cold. Like I could say, man, it's cold outside. I ain't going out there. You know what I'm talking about? It's chilly. If I say, man, hey, yo, I seen old boy's shoes. They was cold. That means, yo, they was probably fly. They was some nice pair of shoes. I could say, man, do you know what's going on with that brother? He kind of cold today. That kind of means like, yo, he's standoffish. He ain't really fooling with nobody. He could be mad, sad, in his feelings, whatever. But I just used this another word 3 different ways. So what we got to understand is the same thing can go for Gentile, stranger, heathen, all that. But because of context, we should understand what it is. And to understand context is why you must be in the school. Because in the UPK, we teach the context of things and how to understand the context. This is why we started off with the Isaiah 28:9. Who will he teach doctrine? Who will he give understanding to? You understand? Line upon line, precept upon precept. So I understand that this stranger in Deuteronomy 17:15, when it says, thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, that's obviously talking about a man of a different nation. I get that. But when we talk about stranger, as far as numbers go, that's obviously talking about because he was only dealing with us. It was in our land. So he was only talking about us. Same thing with Exodus, when Moses called himself a stranger.
Right.
So this is why we have to understand the context of actually what's going on. Now, to put the nail in the coffin, give me Leviticus 25:35. Leviticus 25:35.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse.
Whoa. Leviticus 25
and
35. It's a lot.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35.
Read.
If thy brother
right
be waxing poor,
if thy brother be waxing poor, read,
and fallen in decay with thee.
So if a brother waxed poor, this is when we had our land and we were flourishing. If a brother did fall on hard times and wax decay, read.
Then thou shalt relieve him.
You should relieve him from that stress of falling on those tough times. So if you got some work, hey, yo, look him up, make him a hired servant, not a slave, not a bondman, but a hired servant. Basically, pick him up so he can get back right and go back where he need to be and live a comfortable.
Yeah, though he be a stranger.
Though he be a who?
Stranger.
I thought he said
stranger.
He's called his brother a stranger. Because guess what? This brother we speaking about, he done fell into hard times. Meaning he might have lost his land, lost his livestock, his money, whatever it was. He done fell into hard times. So guess what? He might not even be from the land of Judah. He might be an Ephraimite, just traveling, looking for somewhere to stay, looking for somewhere to work. He might be a Simeonite, you understand? Traveling to the land of Benjamin. He could be.
If thy brother
right
be waxing poor,
yeah,
and fallen and decay with thee,
Mhm.
then thou shalt relieve him.
Then thou shalt relieve him,
Yea, though he be a stranger,
though he be a stranger, read,
or a sojourner,
sojourner, or sojourner, read. And those words are interchangeable too. A stranger or sojourner, same thing. Read.
that he may live with thee.
That he may live with thee. All right, now take me down to verse 39.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 through 5, verse 39.
Right,
And if thy brother
right,
that dwelleth by thee be waxing poor,
right. So now we about to get into, if you wax poor, exactly how to go about it. We also gonna get into the strangers that everybody want to save outside of Israel. Read.
and be sold unto thee,
Be sold unto thee. Read.
thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant.
So under no circumstance are we to take a black man, Hispanic man, or Native American man and make him serve as a bondservant. No matter how good you got it, how bad he got it, you make sure you do right by that brother, man. No matter what, though he be a stranger, though he may be somebody you've never met a day before in your life. And it's crazy that in the Bible, you know, our people don't want to look at strangers as a possibility of it being us. But if I take somebody from Dayton and plant them in California, everybody they see black gonna be a stranger to them, and they're gonna understand exactly what that feel like. That's why we had these laws, because that feeling that you would feel coming from Dayton to California and never been there a day in your life, this law protects you. So when you looking for work and you find a black man doing good, he's gonna look out for you. He would take you in if he's living by the law. He wouldn't forsake you. You understand? That's why we had these laws. It's all about love, and this is why Christ said the greatest law is to fear the Lord and to love thy neighbor as thyself, or to love thy brother as thyself. Because when you do that, you're going to embody the whole law. So if I see a stranger, a brother, you know, a black, Hispanic, or Native American man that I've never met before, but I end up having to deal with him, guess what? I'm going to deal with him as one homeborn. Oh, remember that one? Yeah, one homeborn. So meaning, yo, what you need? All right, well, I got this. Go ahead. You can do this. I'm going to pay you today, and I'm going to make sure we get you right in a month, 2 months, however long it is. In the scriptures, it talk about the year of Jubilee, but obviously we don't have that going on right now. But that's what that means. It's to make sure that we always look out for each other, even though he may be a stranger or a sojourner, that you care about your brother or sister. That's what this is for. You understand? Keep reading. Where you at?
But hired, Salah. The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 40.
Mm-hmm.
But hired,
but as
an hired servant.
So not a bondman, not a slave, but you take them in as a hired servant. Read.
And as a sojourner of Jubilee.
And the year of Jubilee was just a 7-year period. Read.
And then shall he depart from thee.
Right. Read.
Both he and his children with him.
Mm-hmm.
And shall return into his own family.
Right.
And unto the possession of his father shall he return.
So this is another reason why you will be a stranger. Like Moses said, I've been a stranger in a strange land. I know our people don't get this, but if I'm a Benjamite and I'm struggling and I end up in the land of Simeon, what it means is I have no inheritance there. I have no land there. You understand? That means I have literally nothing to live off of. I'm a stranger in a strange land. Just like we are in America. We scrapping at the bottom. We're strangers in this strange land. Well, what would help us, unlike America, what helps us when we were in the land of Israel is if I'm a Judite and I travel to Reuben's country, kind of like what who was that? Was it in the book of Ruth? Was it Naomi? I forget who it was. It might have been Naomi. But she traveled to the land of Reuben and she got help because they understood this law. You understand? When they fell on hard times, they understood this law. So it's like, oh, I can go over here. They got it going good. I'm sure I can find a brother or sister that's going to look out. It's simple. Because you know how Israel roll. We holding each other down. No matter what tribe you from, no matter how bad it is for you. All right. So I'm gonna take him in as a hired servant after the year of Jubilee. I'm gonna let him, his children, and his family go. You know what I'm saying? To return to the possession. And when it says the possession of their fathers, that just means the land that they came from. So if you got the land of Benjamin, wherever he got an inheritance to, you let him redeem his inheritance there, because you should have built him up to be able to take back what was his. You understand? That's brotherhood. Read.
And shall return to his own family to the possession of until the possession of his father shall he return.
Read.
For they are my servants,
All right.
which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt.
Read.
They shall not be sold as bondmen.
They shall not be sold as bondmen, meaning you do not make any of these other nations doing it. Read. Meaning you can't be, when you find that brother in that tough position, and whip him like essentially what they did to us in America, you know, rape, robbed, and killed us. You know what I'm saying? Make them work all day for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't do that at all. Can't even come close to it. Oh, but we about to get an understanding on who we can do that with. Read that 43 again.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor.
Thou shalt not both thy bondmen
and thy bondmaids
and bondmaids. So listen to this: both thy bondmen and bondmaids, meaning both thy slave men and thy slave women. Meaning, yes, there is slavery. That's what bondmen and bondwoman means, or bondmaid means. There will be slave men and slave women. Where do we get those from? Read.
Which thou shalt have.
Thou shalt have. This is one thing I know people know about the Bible. When the scriptures say thou shalt, oh, it's a must.
Right.
So when he says thou shalt, and it's talking about slavery, it's a must. It didn't stop because you don't want to hear how cruel it could be to someone. It ain't got nothing to do with it. Lord's righteousness is the everlasting righteousness, and the law is the truth. Understand that. So when it says thou shalt have, scripture just said it. Thou shalt have. Read.
Shall be of the heathen.
Thou shalt be of who?
The heathen.
The who?
The heathen.
Shall be of the heathen. See, now we got to go context again, because he just got done telling me I can't treat none of the men or women of Israel as bondmen or bondmaids. But then he goes on to tell me that I will have bondmen and bondmaids, which is slave men and slave men, or slave men and slave women, that are round about you. Read.
Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
And bondmaids. So guess what? I can't treat my brother with rigor, but I can treat the heathen round about me that I will make bondmen and bondmaid with rigor. That I can do. So what does that mean? Does that mean I'm gonna just go whoop them for nothing? No. But if they get out of line, I definitely can't come down hard on them and make sure they'll never do that again.
Right.
Oh, I can make sure of that with rigor. I'll make sure of that. I'll enjoy that because it's in the law. Anything of the law I love. The Lord just told me I can have slaves in my homeland, and they'll be my bondmen and bondwomen. And of the heathen, which is another word for stranger too, or Gentile, however you want to look at it. In this context, it's talking about the other nations. And that's what we have to understand. Read.
Moreover,
Right.
Of the children of the strangers,
Right.
that do sojourn among you,
Right.
of them shall ye buy.
Them shall you buy. So there's people that the children of Israel will be buying. We will be buying and selling. Bondmaid and bondwomen of other nations.
And of their families that are with you.
So not them and their family. I can take their sons, their daughters, whoever I need to see fit. Read.
Which they begot.
Right.
And they shall be your possession.
They shall be what?
Your possession.
My friend.
Your possession.
My equal.
Your possession.
My possession. That's what the Lord said.
Right.
The Lord just told me I was going to have men and women as my possession in my land. And it's righteous. Go figure. Read.
And ye shall take them as an inheritance.
As a what?
Inheritance.
I will inherit heathens in my land. And I will enjoy it. Because guess what? Somebody has to do the work. It's my time to sit back and enjoy serving the Lord. Somebody has to do the work. Well, that's what the heathens are for. They get to serve in the field. They get to be my entertainment. The same way we are in America, we get to do it just for the Lord. Or they will do for us just, we will be under the Lord's rulership. And it'll be a glorious thing. I don't know why you wouldn't want it. I mean,
right.
You've been a slave all your life. Why not try the other side? But our people don't realize that. So as you see, first of all, my point of bringing that out was to show the heathen, even in our land, the best thing they can do is be our slave. All right. So when you talk about a salvation does not include slavery, because slavery was our punishment. So you can't say they get to be slaves and that's salvation. That's not salvation. That's slavery. That's punishment. That's not him saving them. If anything, that sucks. That's not salvation. You understand? That's actual, punishment. Let's read that 46.
To inherit them for a possession. They should be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor.
With rigor. He said they'll be our bondmen forever. It doesn't stop. We got to realize that. So, no, I'm sorry for you, brothers and sisters that love heathens. We won't have any that are our equal. We won't have any that's just dwelling in our land in what you would call peace. They're going to be our slaves. If they're not that, we have no purpose for them.
Right.
We can't be separate dealing with other. Psalms 54. Psalms 54, because you understand, David, he understood the same thing. David understood the same thing. That's a mighty forefather a lot of our people understand and adhere to. Well, let's see if you're going to adhere to him when he says this. What did I say?
Psalms 54.
Right, Psalms 54, starting at verse 1.
The book of verse 1.
Read.
Save me,
Right.
O God,
Uh-huh.
by thy name, and judge me by thy strength. Hear my prayer.
Hear my prayer. Read.
O God,
Right.
give ear to the words of my mouth.
Right.
For strangers.
For who?
Strangers.
Who?
Strangers.
For strangers.
Are rising up against me.
Right.
And oppressors seek after my soul.
So as of now, when you read this, you would have to just automatically think, well, dang, strangers, oppressors, that's got to be other nations, right? I mean, doesn't strangers, oppressors, that sound like other nations, right? I mean, according to a Christian or, fake Israelite, that's got to be other nations. But we got to understand who he's talking about. So read the rest of that. Rest of 3.
They have not set God before them.
So these strangers and oppressors have not set God before them. So who could he be talking about? Now, you know what? You skipped out on the parentheses. Read the parentheses at the top.
To the chief musician,
Right,
on Negath, Mashkil,
right,
a psalm of David,
right.
where the Ziphims
Yeah.
came and said to Saul, doth not David hide himself with us?
So this is who he's speaking about. He's speaking about the Ziphims. That's who the strangers and oppressors were that he's speaking of. Now, let's get an understanding on exactly who these Ziphims or Ziphims were. Let me get 1 Samuel 23. 1 Samuel 23 and start at verse 19.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 19.
Right.
Then came up the Ziphites
Ziphites.
Ziphites.
All right, so we know who we dealing with. Read.
To Saul,
Right.
to Gibeah,
To
to Gibeah,
Right.
saying, doth not David hide himself with us in strongholds in the wood?
So it's the same thing Psalms is saying. Read.
In the hill of Haklah,
Right.
which is on the south of Jeshimon.
Right. All right. So now, so we're talking about the Ziphites. This is what it's pertaining to. What he said in Psalms is pertaining to this. Now, give me verse 14.
Same chapter.
Same chapter, verse 14. 23, 23 and 14.
The book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 14.
No.
Oh, the book of 1 Samuel,
Right.
chapter 23, verse 14.
Right.
And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds,
Right.
and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph.
Right. So we talk about the same thing, same people, same land. Read. The Ziphites, Ziphim. Read.
And Saul sought after him every day,
Right.
but God delivered him not into his hand.
But God delivered him not into his hands. Now, I just looked up the word Ziph. What does that say? Read what that says.
Ziph, the name of a place in Palestine, also of an Israelite.
Of a who?
Israelite.
So when we're talking about Ziphites, we're talking about who?
Israelites.
It's that simple. So David just called his own people oppressors. You understand? He called them strangers. This is why he said what he said right here in Psalms 69. Give me Psalm 69. You understand? Stranger, all these words are interchangeable. Even oppressor, as you see. It doesn't have to naturally, we understand who the true oppressor is, but at the end of the day, your own people can oppress you. You know, if a black man got a business going and all he'll hire is white people, he's oppressing us because he should be looking out for us. He's playing the role of the oppressor. Psalm 69 and 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 8.
So remember what we just read about the Ziphites. This is why he says this in Psalms. What did I tell you? 69 and 8?
God.
All right.
To my brethren.
I am what?
Become a stranger into my brethren.
Unto my brethren. So he's saying, I become a stranger to my brethren. You understand? The Ziphites. He became a stranger to them because they was treating him wrong. They was looking for him to hunt him down to kill him. Read.
And an alien.
Alien, right?
To my mother's children.
And an alien unto my mother's children. You understand? He called himself an alien. So at the end of the day, David is calling himself a stranger, an alien to his own people. Now, I'll bring that to modern day. Okay. Who I am a stranger to an African American. If you go talk to a common African American, your standard African American, and you tell him, Officer Yahweh, he's an Israelite, tribe of Judah, this, that, and the third, he will look at you crazy and say, that's just a black man with some crazy gear on. That's all he's going to say. I'm a stranger to him. He would oppress me because of the speech that I speak is strong and he has no clue to where it comes from. I'm a stranger to him. You understand? So at the end of the day, being a stranger, I don't even understand why we think anytime we see stranger, it has to mean another nation. Like, I don't know who came up with that doctrine, but that was not the doctrine of the Lord.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Just like we can use hot and cold 3, 4, 5 different ways, we can use stranger 3, 4, 5 different ways.
Right.
We can use heathen 3, 4, 5 different. We can use all these words 3, 4, 5 different ways. That's our lingo. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say, man, I had me a good sandwich. It had like extra cheese on it. You know what I'm saying? That means I had cheese on it. That's simple. If I say, yo, boy, my check was fat, boy, I got straight cake or straight cheese today. We're talking about, I'm not talking about cheese as in food no more. I'm talking about cheese as in money. If I say, boy, hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but some brother, boy, he cut the cheese out in this thing. I'm talking about somebody's thing. That's one word we can use 3, 4, 5 different ways. Like at the end of the day, where do you think metaphors come from? Where do you think the lingo comes from? The Lord started it. We just doing our little part. You understand? So we have to understand that at the end of the day, it's nothing to use stranger, Gentile, or anything of the sort. Many different ways, and it could be another nation. It could be Israel. It doesn't matter. You understand? So let's get now let's prove that we all became strangers to the Most High. That's where we're going right now. We got to prove now we all became strangers to the Most High. Give me Jeremiah 2:14. Let's start there. And I ain't forgot about you, Trooper Award. I'm gonna answer that question here in a second.
2:14.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14.
Right.
Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a what?
Servant?
Is Israel a servant? Because at the end of the day, we kept on falling off, y'all.
Right.
And instead of serving the Lord, we used to have to serve these other nations. And that's what we call a captivity or slavery or bondage. You understand? So this is why, read that again.
Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Read.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Read.
Why is he spoiled?
I mean, Jeremiah had to get, it came to a point where he's like, yo, are they servant? Are we just servants? Are we just homeborn slaves? Like, are we just meant to serve other people, other nations? I don't know if you know this, but Black man, Hispanic man, but being in captivity is nothing new for Israel. This is something we've been doing for a long time.
Right.
It's getting mighty old. Don't get me wrong, but it's something we've been doing for a long time. So that's literally how we become strangers. Because what did Moses say? What do we start this off? For he named his son Gershom, because I have been a stranger in a strange land. And then every time we go into captivity, we become strangers. We become Gentiles. How? Because we start taking on their customs. We start doing what they tell us to do. We start going to a Christian church on Sunday. We start eating pork, even though it's plain as day in there not to do it. We start thinking other nations love us when they put us in captivity. We become Gentiles. We become strangers. We become heathens. You understand? So take me down to verse 20 in that same chapter, Jeremiah 2:20. Remember, we're about to go into how we became strangers to the Lord. You understand?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 20.
Read.
For of old time,
right,
have I broken thy yoke.
Broken thy yoke, read.
And burst thy bands.
So speaking of how the Most High has taken us out of this all the time, for an old time, ever since Egypt, I've been doing this for y'all. Read.
And thou saidest,
right,
I will not transgress.
So every time he saved us from a captivity, we say, we will not transgress the law. We'll obey. We'll love you. We'll fear you. We'll do everything. Just take us out this captivity. And the sad part about it is more than half of our people don't even understand that's where we should be at right now. We shouldn't be begging to get out of this captivity. That I don't want to be a stranger to you, Lord. I don't want to be a Gentile anymore. I want to be who you called me to be. That is a child of Israel. You understand? A servant of the Lord. Read.
When upon every high hill,
read,
and under every green tree.
So when it says upon every high hill and under every green tree, it pretty much goes back. That's the Garden of Eden lingo. A high hill is basically speaking about the mighty government. So anytime we see a mighty government, Rome, Egypt, America, we start wanting to sucker up to them. You know what I'm saying? Be a sucker for them. Hey, I'll do whatever you say, man. I say, yeah, y'all got the power. Y'all got the might, man. I'm just trying to give me a piece. You know how brothers is. And whenever it talks about under every green tree, a green tree is, what is a green tree gonna do? When it's ripe, it's gonna produce a lot of fruit, meaning it's a lot of goods there. Right. So that's all it's talking about. So wherever the goods is, wherever the power is, that's where y'all want to be. Forget the fact that your Lord told you to be separate and serve him, no matter how good or bad it is. Y'all want to be under every high government and every green tree, which is producing all the fruits and the goods and stuff. Read.
And thou wanderest,
right,
playing the harlot.
And that's why I said y'all playing the harlot, because I told y'all to serve me the way y'all serving those high hills, those mighty governments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I told y'all to serve me the way y'all serving for that green tree with all the bearing all the fruit and all the goods and all the money. You understand? Look, a brother or sister in America will be a whore, will be gay, will be whatever it takes to sit up here and be rich in America.
Right.
They'll do whatever it takes. He's saying you playing the harlot. Like, you ain't even gay. You just ready to be gay to get some money?
Right.
But that's worse than being gay. Like, what in the world? Like, baby, you want to be a hoe just because they say they can put you on TV and you can shake your ass. So now you want to be a hoe and make a couple million? When you could really be giving that to a man of the Lord and serving the Lord in righteousness and actually glorify, and you would be glorified in that. Right. But no, you want to shake it for BET? What? Oh, you playing the harlot. You playing the harlot, and you doing a mighty fine job of black man and black woman. Let me tell you that right now. Doing a mighty fine job of it.
Right.
All right, let's bang that out. What's the next? Yeah, go to 21. Because remember, we talking about how we all became strangers. This is talking about all of Israel. What we reading right now is talking about all of Israel. Remember, we started off for Israel, a homeborn slave, talking about all of Israel. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 21.
Read.
Yet have I planted thee a noble vine.
Yet have I planted thee a noble vine. So he's saying, y'all playing a harlot, y'all doing all the most horrible things y'all can do, but I planted you a noble vine. Read.
Wholly, a right seed.
Holy, a right seed. Meaning when I planted y'all was perfect. Y'all was right. Y'all was what everybody else wanted to be. You understand? Y'all were the standard of the earth. Read.
How then art thou turned into degenerate plant?
How then have you turned into a degenerate plant? That means a bad plant. Like, you was the greatest plant of them all, and you turned into this spoiled, unwanted, degenerate plant. You understand? How, Israel? Makes no sense. Read. Listen. Read. This is the part you got to listen to, though. Read.
Plant of a strange.
Of a who?
Strange.
A strange. Read.
Vine.
Read.
Unto me.
He called Israel, all of us, a strange vine unto him. All of us have become strangers to the Most High.
Right.
When you up here shaking your ass for every random guy or every random dollar, you are a stranger to the Most High. When you up here trying to be gay just to make a hit record or to be on a movie show or whatever, you are a stranger to the Most High. When you up here going to a Christian church when you know the pastor's molesting kids, you are a stranger to the Most High. Period. So guess what? All of us were strangers at one point, Israel. Right. All of us. We all dropped the ball. We got to be real with that. We all dropped the damn ball. It pissed me off thinking about it. I ain't going to lie to you. Because I dropped the ball at one point in my life too. But it's time to pick that thing up. You understand? It's time to serve the Lord no matter how good and or bad it is. That's what we are here to do. This is what the UPK stand for. No matter what life is throwing at you, you got to serve the Lord and be joyful about it. I love it. I love serving the Lord. I love the fact that I know I'm not a stranger anymore. I love the fact that I can go teach strangers and bring them back into that holy vine, that righteous seed. Lord willing.
Right.
I love that. I live for that. I'll die for that. But one thing I'll never do is be a stranger, though. I'll never do that again. That's what I can't do. You understand? All right, drop that. Let's get a little bit into the Gentiles. Right quick, I'm gonna answer True Bride Wars question. He said, "Most High in Christ." That's why, hey man, you gotta be in class a little bit more, man. He said we can drink and speak the word at the same time. Can I just give one scripture of that? So, Lockley, don't want to interrupt class. You ain't interrupted class. It's all good, man. So, what would be the first thing you would tell a brother or sister or anybody that says, "Can you drink during class?" This, that, and the third.
Salaki, but I'm paraphrasing this.
Paraphrase.
Giving a pressed man strong drink is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay, I'm not against that. That is one you want to go to show that we do. Yeah, that's cool. But even more so than that, what would you like? Even before you go there, what would you want to go to prove that is you're not sinning. You're not sinning. You're not breaking the laws of God. You're not doing anything against the Lord to do that.
Salaki, but it's at the top of my head.
All right, I'm gonna give you a second. It's cool.
It's a while. But to pass this on because it didn't come to me. I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that in a while.
No sweat at all. So the first thing I would do is I would ask them, okay, no sweat. So Most High in Christ, man. Bang that out, man. So the first thing I would say is, what law am I breaking?
There's no transgression, there's no law.
Right. Get that for me. What law am I breaking? Because we understand that we live by the whole law, nothing but the law. So help us, Most High. So at the end of the day, show me what law I'm transgressing, and I'll stop. But that's the thing. The Lord didn't make a law against drinking and reading the scriptures.
Right.
You understand? Being holy has nothing to do with not drinking or anything like that. Being holy means we're set apart. Meaning, I won't deal with people that don't want to deal with what the Lord deals with.
Right.
Whether they're of me or somebody or another nation. Mostly another nation, because I definitely want to bring my people back into the fold, as we just seen. But if they just hell bent on just doing a thing, I won't deal with them. They don't want to be holy. They don't even want to try it. We cool. So first I would ask, okay, well, what law am I breaking? Now, a Christian, they're going to go straight to the 10 Commandments if they even go there. And there's absolutely no, of the 10 Commandments, there's absolutely no law against drinking. Then I'm going to show them where you can drink. So did you get that? Where there's no law there? Or, all right, go ahead. Read first. So let's read this right here.
The book of Romans chapter 4, verse 15.
Read.
Because the law worketh wrath.
Okay.
For where there is no law.
For where there is no law.
For where there no law is.
Right.
There is no transgression.
For where there no law is, there is no transgression. Bottoms up. So what that means is, if I can't find a law on it, I can't call it sin. Because remember what Revelations tells us at the very end. Anyone that add or takes from the word of the Lord will be punished for that. And I'm paraphrasing. So if you're adding that in as a law because you want to make it something against the Lord, well, now we got an issue because the Lord didn't make it a law. You understand? Yahweh, we even know Yahweh drank. And he practically talked about the word all day on day. Now, let's get into the scriptures where it actually talks about it's okay to drink. So do you know where that's at?
Nah.
All right, what paraphrase it. You just did. So whatever you just said is cool. I want to hear you say it again.
Giving oppressed man a strong drink.
All right, so put in oppressed strong drink. You'll get what you need there. You can read that, and I'm gonna go get the other one. I should know it, but I'm not sure. I knew it. Man, I'm proud of myself. Most High in Christ. Man, see? I didn't think I was gonna get it, but hey, I got it. Proverbs 31.
Proverbs 31?
Mm-hmm. Proverbs 31, I think it's starting at like 4 or 5. Don't worry. Salakli, true bride war, you gotta understand one thing. I love the Lord. I never do anything to forsake him. If I thought it came close to forsaking them, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Care what any man says. But because I understand in the scriptures, I can't make up laws that aren't there. I'm not.
Okay. Okay. No, I was saying, I'm about to say matter of fact, but
Okay.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 6.
What does 4 say?
Verse 4. It is not for kings.
All right, start at verse 3. Yeah, start at verse 3. So here we go. Listen to this, True War.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 3.
Right.
Give not thy strength unto woman,
Right.
nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
Read.
It is not for kings.
It is not for kings. Read. And remember, when it says it's not for kings, it's really speaking to all of Israel, all the men of Israel. Because you got to understand, he said he'll make us a nation of kings and priests. You understand? Read.
Oh, Lemuel.
Oh, Lemuel. Read.
It is not for kings to drink wine.
It is not for kings to drink wine. Read.
Nor for princes.
For who?
Princes.
Nor for princes. Read.
Strong drink.
Nor princes strong drink. So it's not for kings to drink wine. Princes strong drink. Am I in trouble? Read. Let's keep reading.
Lest they drink and forget the law.
Lest they drink and forget the law. So it's not for you to do if you're one to drink and forget the law. Meaning, if you're someone that gets drunk and starts hitting on a married woman, you shouldn't drink. If you're someone that gets drunk and you continually have to be drunk every night, you shouldn't drink. If you're someone that likes to drink and then it might lead to you needing to snort a line of cocaine, God forbid, you shouldn't drink. So that's why read that. Lest they forget, read.
Lest they drink and forget the law.
Lest they drink and forget the law. So it is okay to drink unless you're going to forget the law. So guess what? Now, on the flip side of that is, if you're one to drink and you can drink all day and all you do is Shalom, YAHANNA, you're laughing and kicking with the fellas, then you go to sleep, feel free to drink. Do what you do. You're okay. Drink as much as you need. Of course, I'll never say overdo it, but, you're okay. Keep reading.
And pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted.
So if you're wanting to pervert the judgment, meaning if you drink and then, a brother saying, man, I'm struggling with this drug habit. That's cool, man. Let's go ahead and hit a blunt real quick, man. It's cool. Well, now you got problems.
Right.
Got problems. Because that man's afflicted. You need to be strong enough no matter how, much drinking you've done, you should be able to tell him, put that down. We ain't doing that.
Right.
You can hit this Cavassier though.
Right.
You understand? Read.
Of any of the afflicted.
Right.
Give strong drink.
Do what?
Give strong drink.
Give who?
Strong drink.
Strong drink. You understand what that is? That's your alcohols. That's your liquors. You understand? That's your cognacs, your bourbons. You know what I'm saying? That's your what's those? I don't even know what's the little white ones called. I don't drink those. Yeah, but yeah, that's what he's talking about. Oh, vodka. Yeah, vodka. Yeah, your vodkas. That's what he's talking about. So give strong drink. Read
unto him that is ready to perish.
Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish. Now you're like, well, so if I'm on my deathbed, I can drink. I mean, yeah, but that's not what that's talking about. That's not what that's talking about. When it says give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, it means the oppressed man. The man that goes through America working 40 hours just to make it to another 40 hours. You understand? The man that goes through America, as soon as he get built up, gets knocked right back down. You understand? Right. The man that literally is in America being a slave for the people that hate him. Because guess what? At any point in time, he can get pulled over and say, don't shoot. Pop, pop, pop. Any given time, he can step on his brother's J's and pop, pop, pop. Any given time, he could just be walking through his hood, see a drug deal, and guess what? They don't want nobody knowing about this. Pop, pop, pop. You understand? Give strong drink, read. Got the hiccups.
And to him that is ready to perish.
Him that is ready to perish, which is every black, Hispanic, and Native American man in America across the four corners. Read.
And wine.
And wine. Get strong drink and wine. Read.
Unto those that be heavy of heart.
Heavy of heart. I know you understand that. If you ever had a woman, I know you understand a heavy heart.
Right.
That's enough said on that. Now, last one I'm gonna give for you, trooper. Give me Deuteronomy 14, 26. Let's read this real quick. We're gonna get back to the lesson. Bang that out.
What was it?
Deuteronomy 14,
26.
26. Deuteronomy 14 and 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 26.
Read.
And thou shalt bestow
Right.
that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
Now, hold on. I want you to read that from the top. So what we're about to get into is the Lord actually telling us to do whatever we're about to do right now. We're about to do it before the Lord. Just like when we're reading the scriptures, we doing that for the Lord and before the Lord. This is the exact same thing we're about to get into with Deuteronomy 14. Read from the top, 26.
And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
So it's basically talking if you travel from a long way and you can't bring all your cattle, your sheep, your herd, and everything else, you change it in for money. You go that long way, and then when you get there, this is what you do. Start at 26 again.
And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after.
For what?
For oxen.
Hold on. Start for thy soul, for whatsoever thy soul what?
Lusteth after.
Yes, in the law, there is a such thing as a righteous lust. Yeah, that's in the law.
Right.
The Lord told us to do that. You understand? For whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Of course, that's in the confines of the law. If you lusting after a dang old pig, Lord be with you. I don't understand why you would do that. You still can't do that. But if you lusting after, strong drink, well, whatsoever that soul lusteth after, hey, you understand? Read.
For oxen.
For oxen.
Or for sheep.
For sheep.
Or for wine.
For wine.
Or for strong drink.
For what?
Strong drink.
So my soul can lusteth after what?
Strong drink.
It's in the law that my soul can lust after what?
Strong drink.
Thus saith the Lord. I ain't saying this right there. Read Deuteronomy 14, 26. Read. Finish that out.
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth.
For whatsoever thy soul desire. Read.
And thou shalt eat.
Right.
There before the Lord thy God.
Before who?
The Lord thy God.
So hold on. I might be drinking strong drink before who?
The Lord thy God.
I can lust after strong drink before who?
The Lord thy God.
Oh, shoot. Read.
And thou shalt rejoice.
And hold on. So I'm lusting after strong drink. I get my strong drink. I'm strong drinking before the Lord my God. And I should do what because of this?
And thou shalt rejoice.
Shalom. It's that simple. It's that simple. I never break the laws. And if I do, I'll be the most repentant nigga you know.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. So no. Yeah, so we can drink. We can drink. And it's okay. As you see, my soul rejoices in it. So now back to the lesson. I hope that answered your question. Oh, Most High in Christ. You already know. I.S.U.P.K, home of the truth. Learn from the men above me, starting with Commander General YAHANNA. So let's get back to the lesson on Gentiles. We got a little bit of time left. I'm shorten it up a little bit. Give me Isaiah chapter 42, verse 6.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 6.
Read.
I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness.
It's called thee in what?
Righteousness.
Right. Read.
And will hold thine hand.
Will hold thy hand. Read.
And will keep thee.
Keep thee.
And give thee for a covenant of the people.
Right.
For a light of the Gentiles.
For a light of the Gentiles. Uh-oh. Look at that word. It's got to mean other nations, right? He's giving a light for the other nations, man. Gosh, right? Oh, silly ones. All right. So it says, for a light of the Gentiles. Read verse 7.
To open the blind eyes.
So the Gentiles we're talking about have blind eyes. We understand that, right? That's what he's saying. All right, read.
To bring out the prisoners from the prison.
To bring out the prisoners from the prison. So these Gentiles are prisoners. Read.
And them that sit in darkness out of the prison house.
So the them is the Gentiles that sit in darkness out of the prison houses. We understand that, right? So it seems like we want to figure out who these Gentiles are. Just need to figure out who's the blind ones. Who's the ones sitting in prison houses. I mean, as I said, I feel like we kind of already know who that is, but let's actually get it in the scriptures. Why don't we? First, I want to go to the law. Deuteronomy 28:28. Understand everything go back to the law. It's not that difficult, y'all. At the end of the day, the Lord has he's already prophesied these things. So when you see these words, when you see this lingo, you should understand that he's talking about us. I mean, we're the ones that have these issues. We're the ones that go through them. Read.
Right. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
Read that again.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
You know what that madness is, black man and black woman? You walking around here calling yourself African American. That's madness. You know what that madness is? You going to a Christian church every Sunday. That's madness. You know what that madness is? I was thinking of something crazy like an exorcism or something. Nah, you need an exorcism from this madness that you live in. And this is where you get it at. You understand? The madness is the life that our black men and women, Hispanic men and women, Native American men and women live today. It's madness that you think you black, you're Hispanic, you African American, you Afro American, you know what I'm saying? You're Latina, whatever else that goes with that. That's madness.
Right.
So you're that, but you can't tell me who the children of Israel are.
Right.
It's madness. It's crazy. Like, you'll fight your brother, but you won't fight the ones that oppress both of you. That's madness. That's crazy. Like, if a brother look at you the wrong way, you ready to fight him. The cops literally look at you, think of you, all of that and above the wrong way. And you, yes, sir, or okay, whatever you say. It's madness.
Right.
You're crazy. Read.
And blindness.
And what?
Blindness.
Hold on. Whoa. What did Isaiah 42:6 say? Hold on. What did that say again? That sounds familiar. 42:7. Read that right there, the first line. Isaiah, hold that. Isaiah 42:7. What's that say?
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 7.
Yeah.
To open.
To do what?
To open.
To open what?
The blind eyes.
There's blind eyes that need to be opened. But in Deuteronomy 28:28, what did it prophesy?
The Lord will smite thee. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness.
And blindness. Hold on. You mean to tell me there'll be a time where the children of Israel have blindness? Is that all on that? Finish that out. 28:28. And
blindness and astonishment of heart.
And astonishment of heart. You mean to tell me I'm actually a child of God? I'm actually children of Israel? You understand? You gotta understand everything. Like, this whole breakdown is just to show that it's nothing new. You understand? Like all of this has been prophesied. All of this has been before. You understand? That's what the scriptures say. There's nothing new under the sun. So to me, it's crazy that our people can't see that the children of Israel are actually the strangers, are actually the Gentiles. You understand? So now we got it from the law that we would be smite with blindness. Now, give me Isaiah 42 and 16, same chapter. We're just going to go a little further and read on it to figure out exactly who he's talking about. It's not hard. Read, starting at verse 16.
The book Isaiah chapter 42, verse 16.
Read.
And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not.
I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. Read.
I will lead them in paths that they have not known.
They have not known. Read.
I will make darkness light before them.
I will make darkness light before them. Read.
And crooked things straight.
Crooked things straight. Read.
These things
will
I do unto them and not forsake them.
And not forsake them. You understand? Read. This is a big part. Listen to this.
They shall be turned back.
They shall what?
Be turned back.
Hold on, turn back. You mean to tell me these people that's blind are going to be turned back? Hold on. How can something be turned back if it never was? And I say that to say because the Gentiles that y'all talking about, they never were the children of God. They never were obeying the law. They never were one with Israel. So how can they be turned back to something that they never were? That's what you got to think. It makes no sense. But the Gentiles that this is speaking of, because remember, we're still talking about Gentiles. The Gentiles that this is speaking of will be turned back. Read. Turn back. They shall be turned. Top of 17.
And they shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed.
Read.
That trust in graven images.
Christian, Muslim, whatever. Read.
That say to the molded images.
Right.
Ye are our gods.
Read 18.
Hear ye deaf.
Hear ye deaf. Read.
And look ye blind.
And look ye blind. Read.
That ye may see.
Read. All right. Now this is about to get into who we actually talking about. Read.
Who is blind but my servant?
Who is blind but my servant? So now he's making a decree. Who is the blind but my servant? So you can't call nobody the blind but his servant. This is the Lord. Who's the servant of the Lord? That's the only people you can call the blind. Which are the Gentiles we're speaking of? Well, let's get it. We already read it. Leviticus 25:55.
Or deaf as my message.
Oh, Leviticus 25:55. Hey, I need you on the ball. You gotta be right. You gotta be ready, baby.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 25.
25:55.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 55.
Read.
For unto me,
right,
the children of Israel.
The who?
The children of Israel.
The children of Israel.
Are servants.
Are who?
Are servants.
Ooh, our servants. Read.
They are my servants.
Simple. So what did Isaiah 42:19 say? Who is the blind but my servants? And what did that just say? Read that again from the top. I need you. Sorry.
For unto me,
right,
the children of Israel,
right,
are servants.
The children of Israel are servants. Read.
They are my servants.
They are my servants. You understand? So the scripture right here says, speaking of the Gentiles that he's speaking of, who is the blind but my servant? Leviticus 25:55 says the children of Israel are my servants. Simple. That's the only servants he's talking about. All right, so finish out 19, Isaiah 42:19.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 19.
Read.
Who is blind but my servant,
Read.
or deaf as my messenger that I sent?
And the only messengers he sent were the prophets of the Lord, which were the children of Israel. Read.
Who is blind as he that is perfect?
He that is perfect. Huh. Hey, can you tell me what Deuteronomy 18 and 13 say? He that is perfect. We talking about perfection now, huh? Okay. Okay. So the Most High gives you clues on who he's talking about. And of course, if you of him, you're going to know exactly who he's talking about. Clear cut. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 13.
Read.
Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
That's it, ain't it?
God.
Guess who he's talking to? He's talking to the children of Israel.
Right.
Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
Right.
Because he's only our God. That's how you know he's talking to the children of Israel. If you don't believe it, you go to the beginning of Deuteronomy 1:1 and it say to all the children of Israel. It's that simple. So at the end of the day, the blind was the children of Israel. The deaf are the children of Israel. And how do we know what scripture is that talks about the deaf? All right, we broke it down to the brother when we was at the bar the one night. We was talking to the brother. He was kind of hearing the truth, but you know.
He said, what scripture breaks down what?
What scripture was it that we went to kind of break down? Because he was like, well, all our people don't understand the truth. Why don't they understand the truth? I gave him the Isaiah 29 and Isaiah 29 and 9.
29 and 9.
What's Isaiah 29 and 9 say?
The book Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out. They are drunken,
Right.
but not with wine.
They are drunken, but not with wine. Read.
They stagger,
They stagger,
but not with strong drink.
but not with strong drink. Read.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
The spirit of who?
Deep sleep.
Read.
And have closed your eyes.
Did what?
Closed your eyes.
Sound pretty blind to me. Read.
The prophets.
Right.
And your rulers.
Yeah.
The seers.
Right.
Hath he covered.
And that's how we became the blind. You understand? That's why our people don't understand the truth when it's right in their face. They can't explain why they're like, and I'll give you an example. Our people cannot explain how and why they're African American. But as soon as you tell them they're the children of Israel, no, they'll say, nope, I'm black. Where is that at? I don't, okay, I'll rock with you. Okay, where's black at? I mean, I don't know. For real, I'm African. Okay, cool. What part? It's from 50 countries. Which one do you come from? Well, I don't know. I mean, that's where I was taken from. So really, all you know is you a slave? Well, yeah. Well, then, yeah, this is who he's talking about.
Right.
The people that only can go back to understanding that they slaves and nothing else. That's you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. That's who this is talking about. You only understand that you're a slave and you want to be the best slave you can be for master. Well, it's time to change that, stranger. Gentile. It's time to stop being a stranger. Stop being a Gentile, like the scriptures we read, and be a child of God once again. All right, so go back to Isaiah 42. Yeah, let me get that. Isaiah 42, and where we leave off at? I think it was like 20 or 21, something like that.
No, it ain't in the 20s.
Well, 19. He that is perfect.
Okay. The book Isaiah chapter 42, verse 19.
Right.
who is blind, but my servant,
Right. Read.
or deaf as my messenger that I sent.
Right.
Who is blind as he
Right.
that is perfect,
Right.
and blind as the Lord's servant,
Right.
seeing many things, but thou observest not.
Right.
Open the ears, but he heareth not.
So you observe many things. You see these brothers on the street corner speaking his truth. You see brothers breaking down the Bible and you confound it and you have no clue. You hear it, you see it, but you don't think twice of it. You think you still right some way, somehow. Believe me, I got family members like that right now. They can't say nothing about what I say is wrong outside they don't like how it is. And I tell them everything about what they say is wrong, and I prove it through the Bible. But they're not hearing it. I gotta be wrong. I gotta be crazy. But I'm only agreeing with the Bible. They're Gentiles. They're Gentiles. They're heathens. They're strangers. You understand? Just like Moses was a stranger in a strange land, they're strangers in strange lands. You understand? Read. It's about to tell you how.
The Lord
Right?
is well pleased for
Right.
his righteousness'
Right?
sake.
Mm-hmm.
He will magnify the law
Right?
and make it honorable.
He will magnify the law and make it honorable. That's something that will never change. So this law will be honorable in the last days.
Right.
Read.
But this is a people robbed.
Hold on. But this is what?
A people.
This is a what?
People.
Now, when you actually look up that word, it actually says the children of Israel. But remember, we're still talking about Gentiles. When you look this up, let me get another witness. By 2 or 3, let everything be. What does that say? That's a people. What does that say? Say anything about the children of Israel?
A people.
Right.
As a congregated unit.
A congregated unit. Read.
Specifically.
A tribe.
As those
of
Israel.
Of who?
Israel.
No.
Israel.
Ooh. Well, I thought we was talking about the Gentiles, though. What happened? Remember, this whole thing was predicated on the Gentiles.
As those of Israel.
Those of Israel. Dang. It's that simple. You know. So we can stop right there. So now that we understand, whenever we see Gentiles now that we got the breakdown on Gentile. Now, when you go to the New Testament, you said there's no Jew or Gentile. That's the Gentiles talking about. You understand? You got to understand that the kingdom was written into two nations, two kingdoms. You understand? And for time's sake, I'm not going to get into it, but the nation of Israel was written to northern and southern. You understand? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the rest were the northern. And then eventually it was even worse than that, because then we were scattered and taken because, we were taken into slaveries, different captivities. So when that happened, we were definitely strangers and Gentiles and all that, because what is that? Somebody is following after those nations. So if you in China right now and you keep the Chinese feast days and all that, you're a Gentile. I don't care if you literally got the strongest blood of Jacob in the world.
Right.
You are a Gentile. It's that simple.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with your blood, because you're not living according to your blood. You're living according to the Gentile. So you are what you live. And in any other situation, we understand that. I mean, if a crackhead's doing crack, you be like, you are what you live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, understand? If a whore's been a whore, you are what you live.
Right.
Every other situation we get it, but when it comes to a Gentile living as a Gentile, even though he may be something else, no. All of Israel has to be Israel. Listen. It's so many more scriptures. I really didn't even get into all of it. You understand? But it's so many more scriptures I could break down and show you clear as day. Gentiles, when it talks about salvation, or no Jew nor Gentile, is literally talking about Israel. Matter of fact, give me Romans 3 and 29. We'll end it right here. Romans 3 and 29. And this is a simple, like it's a lot more I want to break down for my brothers and sisters, but I don't know, for some reason I take too long breaking them down. I gotta work on that. But Most High in Christ, man. Gentile, stranger, foreigner, all that. Look, all that can be Israel. All of us were strangers, Gentiles, foreigners before we knew about the truth. We didn't know nothing. We was a foreigner. We was a Gentile. Even the Christian church told us we was Gentiles grafted in. Y'all believe them. Why can't y'all believe us when we tell y'all Gentiles? Y'all believe Christian church when they say, well, now we're Gentiles grafted in. But then Israelite was like, nah, if you living as African American, even though you the blood, you still a Gentile. You gotta live as an Israelite. No, you're wrong. But the Christian church, right?
Right.
What? I mean, come on now. That made no sense. You there?
Come on.
Go ahead, read.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the God of the Jews only?
Is he the God of the Jews only? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, read.
Is he not also of the Gentiles?
That's Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the northern kingdom that were scattered abroad. Read.
Yes, of the Gentiles also.
Yes, of the Gentiles also. Read.
Seeing it is one God, which shall justify the circumcision by faith.
Read that again.
Seeing it is one God,
Uh-huh.
which shall justify the circumcision by faith,
Okay.
and uncircumcision through faith.
And uncircumcision through faith. Hold on, Salaki. Because, I mean, that goes into it too. But start at 25. Give me 25 real quick.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 25. Whom God has set forth to be a...
Whoa, Romans 9 and 25. Oh, my fault. Okay. Yeah, I went to Romans 9:25. Salaki. That's me.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 25.
Right.
As he said...
Salaki, start at 24. Same chapter. Start at 24.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Even us,
Mm-hmm.
whom he hath called,
Whom you've called,
not of the Jews
not of Judah, Benjamin, Levi,
only,
right? Only,
but also of the Gentiles.
but also Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the northern kingdom. Read.
As he said also in OC.
OC, what is OC? You know what that is?
It's like, is that a city?
No. It's actually it's a Old Testament prophet.
I don't know about OC.
Hosea. You ever heard of Hosea?
Come on.
Okay. That's so. As he also said in OC or Hosea, what did he say?
I will call them my people,
I will call them my people,
which were not my people.
which were not my people. Read.
And her beloved,
And her beloved.
which was not my beloved.
Read 26 real quick.
And it shall come to pass
We should read.
that in the place where it was said unto them,
Right.
ye are not my people,
Read.
there shall they be called the children of the living God.
Okay, so it said what we just read. They said it in Hosea, right? Or OC, which is Hosea, right?
Okay.
All right, give me Hosea 1 and 10. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Hosea 1 and 10. Might want 9. Let me see. Yeah, give me 1 and 9. Start at 1 and 9 and read through 10.
The book of Hosea, verse 1. Book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 9.
Read.
Then said God,
What did he say?
call his name
Mm-hmm.
Lo-Ami,
Lo-Ami.
for ye are not my people.
For who?
For ye are not my people.
Ain't that what it just said in Romans? For ye are not my people. Read.
And I would not be your God.
I will not be your God. You understand? So the Most High is making a decree. Hey, Israel, you will not be my people, and I will not be your God. Because we played the harlot. I can only look, I'm not God, but I can only imagine how our Most High power feels, watching us play the harlot in America or anywhere else for that matter. Like, we got brothers willing to put dresses on and still say they ain't gay. That's crazy to me. Transsexuals, child rapists, all this stuff is crazy. And it's all because we want to listen to America. Like, this stuff is wild, man. You understand? Like, we got to come out of this.
Right.
Read.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
That's the sand of the sea,
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Now remember, this is where Paul got this in Romans when he was talking about the Jew and the Gentile. Right? So we understand the Jew is his people, but the Gentiles is considered not his people, right?
Right.
So now we're about to understand what he was speaking on. Read.
And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass.
That in the place where it was said unto them.
What did it say?
Ye are not my people.
All right, so now let's bring this to modern day. Where were you? Where was the modern day Israelites told they were not his people? Keep it simple.
America.
Boom. We read the prophecy. Read it as you live it. Read it again in the place that it was said. Read from that part.
That in the place where it was said unto them.
Right.
Ye are not my people.
Ye are not my people, which was, we were told this in America. We were not the children of God. We're told some ugly, lame looking, weird Jewish white man was. When we were just niggas and slaves. Read.
There it shall be.
There, so that means there. Where's the there at? For us. Where's the there?
America.
So the same place you were told you weren't ish to the Most High, you were just a nigga or a slave. That's the exact same place. That's how dope this prophecy right here is. Like, when I first read this and understood this, man, this blew my mind. In that exact same place you were told you were nothing.
Right.
Read.
There it should be said unto them.
There, at that exact same place, there, what will you find out?
Ye are the sons of the living God.
And those are the Gentiles he's talking. How do you not understand it? It said that the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, meaning scattered abroad, but many in many places. In the place where we were told we were not his people, in America, we ain't never been told we were the people of God. My church, I remember when I was in church, they always told me I was a Gentile grafted in. Which, like I said, technically it was true. I was the Gentile grafted in. But I was also the Israelite through blood. And that's why I said there, at that exact same place, you'll be told you are the children of the living God. So those are the Gentiles he's speaking to. The ones that are the children of the living God, that have the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that had went astray, became Gentiles, became strangers, were strangers in strange lands, strangers serving idols, all these other things, but came back to the one living God. So that's what we got to understand. I'm going to cut it short at that. Like I said, I could really do a part 2 on this because it's so deep. It's so deep. And I could pick right off at the Jew and Gentile. And we have another whole 2 hours because the actual breakdown on all this, and I might actually do that. I'm not sure. But the actual breakdown on all this is so heavy. It's so heavy. Like, he gives us so much evidence of who the true Gentiles that he's speaking about salvation is to, who the true strangers are that he's talking about gathering. It's not even close to, should I doubt it? Should I think it's another nation? If you think that, you just still under American, mythology. You're not listening to the Bible. You're not listening to the Most High God. But I understand that because, well, you're not in the UPK. And honestly, as I grow in this truth, I find it hard to find anybody that's outside the UPK that's actually living or speaking this truth. So, again, if you want to, learn the truth, you know what I'm saying? Come check out ISUPK.com. We got classes online every day, Monday through pretty much Sunday. But Monday through Friday specifically, 7 to 9. You can check us out. We all across the globe. ISUPK.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook, any social media. We'll be there. And check us out. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakathum. Yahweh Shema Al Thah Bashim Yahshua. Shalom.